Here we go with another story. Um, this was back in 2022. Um, I'll post a picture of it. But that day we had a late trip, early trip, and I was talking to the fleet because I was still at Channel Islands. Back then, it was we were still, on we were on good terms. We were on good terms. It was just like problem was I'll call this man the mouth. He just has he has this he has to have a say for everything. Honestly, I think that man I should have really paid attention to him because this dude was just he'll have a glass of wine next he'll call me later on. You think you're the best? It was like these conversations were so ridiculous. I mean, you tell everyone you find all the fish, and look, I'm not a liar, and I mean I could tell some great stories, but he lied. This guy, he'll drink some wine and he'll turn it to the fucking the mouth. And he's just that's what he always is. Yeah, I mean, you guys know who he is. But we'll just call him the mouth. And it was crazy. They're like I'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like, I mean, kind of like, am I like, why are you mad at me? Like, because your son sucks. I mean, this shit was like a joke. I'm not even lying. I mean, it was crazy. And in 2022, his son did a little better. He did do a little bit better, but I mean, these guys were just like, oh, I'm the best at everything, and then they'd be sandbaggers. So, but anyhow, aside from that, we were working with them still, even though they're sandbaggers and, they couldn't stop their mouth. Um, I had my group, Richard Wong, Chris Mills on the boat, Steve Tomasino, uh, I think Doug, my regular group, one of my regular groups. They ended up becoming one of my regular groups because they came with the boat basically. These great people. I mean, I had a lot of great customers, and I'll speak about them in different stories. But we're looking for these fish. I start up at Willows. I mean, I'm looking all day, and like I'm not lying. Some of the guys on there just want game fish. Some groups want that. Some groups want to fish. Well, we don't find it, but I mean, I'm it's toward late in the day already, and I'm at Atacapa, and if everybody knows me, I'm known for zigzagging because I don't have a sonar, like these other guys. I was a poor owner, and I had a zigzag, so I'll be doing this figure eights. Just, it was a tactic I created, and too bad it wasn't shared by anybody, but it's one of the greatest tactics for finding sea bass. I mean, that's why I found them just as much as the sonars. Well, I'm zigzagging. It's about time, and I'm like, hey guys, like this has got to be it. I'm gonna have to head home if I don't find this fish. And this is like I mean, I'm not lying. This is like maybe 10 minutes at this point. Like we're from where we're at. Well, I find this big school of sea bass, and I wish I knew how to add more pictures. But as the time comes, I'll learn how. Other than that, we'll show like when we're bidding and all that. But anyhow, I found I mean just comes out of nowhere. I spot this is like it's a massive school. Well, I turn on it, get everyone to drop. Uh, Chris Schmidt hooks up first, and he's always like my buddy. He's always the first down. He would be always the first one to hook a fish. It's funny, but he always would. And well, it turned out his fish ended up being a yellow, and we hooked up. He got his yellow. We had like 5, 6 fish on. Uh, Ricky Smith was on the boat. He got one. Uh, Thomasino was on. We got a little hectic. We got but I mean I think the greatest bites, or when it's just at the end you're going, like you're in the final mile, the last straw, and it just happens. And I call the other boats because we used to work with them. I didn't hide shit from them. I wanted their passengers to catch fish just like I wanted mines. That was a true failure when they didn't want to speak to me. Because all they did was take from our passengers. I mean, they took from them. I could be catching fish over here, and then and all it was, and at the end of it, it was just a shit show. I mean, these guys are were just a sad bunch. But anyhow, we ended up getting those, and they came, and I couldn't help it. I had to do a couple more trips because it was like, even though it was the last of it, everyone knows me. I'm like, I fish. I run that boat like if I fish it. I mean, and it's hard for me to stop fishing. People could say whatever they want, but I mean, I love to fish. And I didn't. And a lot of people will tell you I don't. I normally didn't grab a rod. I normally don't. So a lot of these guys don't even know. They probably think I couldn't fish, but I ain't too bad. I ain't too shabby. There's some people can confirm what I've some funny stories or some great stories. I don't know, but but I ain't too bad. But yeah, I was we ended up doing a few more drifts. We got a couple more croaker, and we got some halibut. Matter of fact, um, Steve Chesney was in the boat, I believe, and yeah, I had Tony on deck. I think Tony was on deck. He was on deck. There was two of us. Steve Chesley hooked one on I don't know if it was a hooked up bait, or I don't know if it was one of KJ's Mac 12 baits. I think it was one of KJ's, but I mean, we hooked one up, and he looks at Steve. These are the funny things that come with this fishing. Is that he looks at Steve, and Steve's got this fish on, and so Steve is like, he has the rod over. A lot of these guys, they don't get mad, but some of these guys are like, you pull out that fish, I want to pull on it. They pay to come out, and it wasn't rude or anything, but it's funny, and it's funny, because the relationships we built with these guys, and our passengers, they become friends. So you know, but yeah, the anticipation, the way it was, we're way into the day, about to head home, and you know, we made it happen. And when you get groups like that, you want them to stick in it. I mean, hey, we're in the last round. We didn't catch shit, but I mean, the last 5, 10, it was probably like 5 minutes really, because I was already at the edge of of that structure right there where I see them, and I turned the day around, and we ended up with I think it was 7 Seabass, 2 Yellows, I think 3 Halibut, and you know, at one time we had like six guys on out of. I think there was only like eight of us on the boat, but I mean, unfortunately, that school scattered and I couldn't find it again. But we just started drifting it, and they were biting, and all these other boats, those other two other boats started drifting it. But I think they got one sea bass out of it, and because they made a long stretch from Santa Cruz, Santa Capa. But those are the times, and the days of Captain. We hate not to catch fish. We hate it. But when we come to at the very end, and we're fortunate to give our passengers what they deserve, especially for not giving up, makes it all the better. But that was a good one.